Welcome to Hear the Word. I'm Dr. Gerry, and this is the sixth Sunday in Ordinary Time in episode 65. And this is the show where I read you the Sunday readings, but I bring in a meditation. So we're not just reading, we are meditating and praying, and we are incorporating in that meditation psychological practices that help in healing from trauma, from addictions, from any other life struggles. So this is a great resourcing kind of activity to bring about greater potential for change and growth. So I hope you enjoy. This time, we're looking at some interesting readings that speak about lepers. In the first reading, we have God in Leviticus kind of making it clear that lepers are unclean. And we know in the Jewish mind, the ancient Jewish mind, that anything that brought you closer to death was to be avoided. And any kind of loss of bodily fluids, right, like bleeding, like from a battle or women's menstruation or any kind of illness or sickness brought you closer to death in some way. And so you had to be ritually cleaned in order to kind of go back into society. And a leper was unclean, and if not healed, that was kind of it for life, and you lost connection with the community as being a leper. And so what does Christ do? Christ reconnects. He heals a leper, right, in the gospel. And so what we realize here is God is there to make us clean. He's there to reconnect us and allow us to be connected with others. All right. So in this meditation, I'm going to really focus on Christ himself. All right. And so we're going to keep it very, very simple, right? And so many of us have different images in mind, right, when we think of Jesus. I like to keep it real simple. I mean, I like icons, so I have those kind of images. There's lots of pictures of Jesus. But we don't, for some reason, too graphic of a picture is too much. We can keep it very, very simple, almost like a figure, just a loving figure. So I'm going to be bringing up, when I bring in this meditation, I'm going to be bringing up allowing Jesus to be present. So that can be however you choose to, you see him, or however he reveals himself to you in this experience. All right, well, as usual, let's get into a comfortable place. Take a deep breath. I usually do the Jesus prayer. One thing I sometimes do is just the Lord have mercy, which is just one part of it. But as I breathe in, fill my lungs, and as I breathe out, I say, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. And I do that 3 times, or 4 times actually. So I have 12 Lord have mercies. You can do as many as you want. But just as a way to kind of connect my body with my breath and connect myself to Christ, to God, saying, Lord have mercy. I enter a spirit of humility and receptivity. All right, so let's begin as we read the first reading. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, if someone has on his skin a scab or pustule or blotch, which appears to be the sore of leprosy, he shall be brought to Aaron the priest, or to one of the priests among the descendants. If the man is leprous and unclean, the priest shall declare him unclean by reason of the sore on his head. The one who bears the sore of leprosy shall keep his garments rent and his head bare, and shall muffle his beard. He shall cry out, unclean, unclean. As long as the sore is on him, he shall declare himself unclean, since he is in fact unclean. He shall dwell apart, making his abode outside the camp. And so, in this meditation, we just allow ourselves for a moment to think about the ways in which we see ourselves. There might be a part of us that feels unclean. Might be a sense in which, we've done something wrong. Or it might be a sense in which we just feel bad about ourselves for some reason. Whatever it is that disconnects us from God, disconnects us from others, keeps us locked up. We're just going to notice that. Be aware that is there. And then we move to the readings in the Psalm. I turn to you, Lord, in time of trouble, and you fill me with the joy of salvation. Blessed is he whose fault is taken away, whose sin is covered. Blessed the man to whom the Lord imputes not guilt, in whose spirit there is no guile. I turn to you, Lord, in time of trouble, and you fill me with the joy of salvation. Then I acknowledged my sin to you, my guilt I covered not. I said, I confess my faults to the Lord, and you took away the guilt of my sin. I turn to you, Lord, in time of trouble, and you fill me with the joy of salvation. Be glad in the Lord, and rejoice, you just. Exult, all you upright of heart. I turn to you, Lord, in time of trouble, and you fill me with the joy of salvation. So I take those words in, whatever it was that I brought forward after the first reading. I turn to you, Lord, with that. And bringing that to him, we're promised here in this psalm that he takes it away. He imputes not guilt. That in the acknowledging and the confessing, that he makes us freed, that he imputes not guilt, makes us upright of heart. And let's not let that just be empty words, just a theological phrase. Let's really take that in. Let's allow that image of Christ that we started with. Just allow ourselves to see him, notice him. And as we bring our faults and our struggles and our issues, as we bring those to him, confessing those to him, acknowledging them, he lifts us of that burden. So really noticing that burden being removed. We read in Corinthians from St. Paul, brothers and sisters, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do everything for the glory of God. Avoid giving offense, whether to the Jews or Greeks or the church of God, just as I try to please everyone in every way, not seeking my own benefit, but that of the many, that they may be saved. Be imitators of me as I am of Christ. And so we hear St. Paul's words and we recognize that Christ has released us of a great burden. And we are to imitate him and release others of their burdens too. And then we read in the Gospel of St. Mark. A leper came to Jesus and kneeling down, begged him and said, "If you wish, you can make me clean." Moved with pity, he stretched out his hand, touched him, and said to him, "I do will it. be made clean. The leprosy left him immediately, and he was made clean. Then warning him sternly, he dismissed him at once. He said to him, "See that you tell no one anything, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing what Moses prescribed, that will be proof for them." The man went away and began to publicize the whole matter. He spread the report abroad, so that it was impossible for Jesus to enter a town openly. He remained outside in deserted places, and people kept coming to him from everywhere. All right, so here we hear Jesus healing the man with leprosy. And so we think about our own struggle, whatever it was we brought forward at the beginning, whatever it is that makes us a leper in some way, that keeps us locked up, that keeps us struggling, that keeps us away from God, away from others, prevents us from having the rich life God wants for us. Whatever it was, perhaps again, we bring it to Jesus and we notice him. And we notice him again. We picture Jesus with us in this meditation, sensing his presence, looking at his expression, seeing that he sees us, coming to him and saying, "If you wish, you can make me clean." We'll notice his hand is outstretched toward us. Notice him touching us. We can feel the gentleness and kindness and compassion in that gentle touch. And we hear his words, "I will do it. Be made clean." So again, we feel that burden being lifted. And so if you were able to participate in that, and if you were able to feel something lift, something you were carrying, some guilt or some negative thought or feeling, whatever it was, take a moment and just shake, move your body, stretch a little bit, feel what it's like to not have to carry that. Just notice what it's like to be freed from an old burden. And also just notice what it's like to just be with Christ, just allowing his healing presence to be there. Notice his love, notice his desire to bring wholeness. Seeing if we can sit with that. Taking a deep breath. And if there's been a change in our body, if there's less tension, if there's more fluidity or relaxation, I'm just going to sit with that and soak that in. And I invite you to stay in this place and converse with Christ, or just sit with him and be with him. I invite you to spend as long as you're able to with him. And when you're done, I hope you'll join me over at Be With the Word, and we'll have more of a discussion about the readings and apply them to our lives. And I hope you'll join us at soulsandhearts.com. And if you like what we're doing, share it, spread the word, subscribe, all that. Go over to soulsandhearts.com and get our free weekly newsletter that updates you on all that we're doing to bring Catholic mental health to everyone that's interested. All right, so until next time, be still